Welcome back, 50ish fam. It's your favorite midlife podcast and your three favorite aunties. Y'all gonna accept being aunties now?
Of
The fact
course.
that y'all older than me, so y'all really should just
Here we
embrace
go.
We're all the same age.
it. Yeah, well, yeah. Let's
We're
just
all the
keep it
same
going.
age.
Uh, tonight, y'all, we have a really good one with the holiday season coming up and year ending. In about 6 weeks. Y'all know that? I just counted it up like
That's how
6 weeks.
many. That's
Yeah,
all we have left.
the seventh week will be New Year's Day, and we're talking about because it's on a
Wow.
Thursday. So 6 weeks
Wow.
from now is Christmas and
That
New
next
Year's. So 7 weeks. Yeah, we got yeah, yeah, and
this
so
year has
yeah.
been a blur.
Ooh.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So yeah, tonight
So much
people
has happened.
we're
Wow.
talking about gratitude. And so what better way to lead in than what you saying it, boo? It's been a blur. Like and let's just when we say blur, you got three different people. We do have things that have impacted all of us, but then we got stuff that ain't got nothing to do with the other person. You know what I mean? Or the other people. So it's been a blur. It's really time is flying.
Sure
So
is.
gratitude, y'all. And then we think we talking about it from midlife, but we want these pearls will span generations, or they should span generations, because we are all experiencing the same things, so to speak. When it comes to society, the world, um, we're all experiencing the same thing. So, leading with gratitude, we're going to start with um, we're calling this gratitude in the gray area. Let's put it like that,
Okay.
because it's easy to be happy and grateful when things are going good.
Mhm.
Like what you're mad
Right.
for,
Right.
if
Right. Right.
yeah. So it's
Mm-hmm.
gratitude in the gray area. So how do you show gratitude when things aren't perfect or working the way you need them to or you think they should? So gratitude beyond the circumstances. How
Right.
can we stay thankful even if everything isn't perfect? So
That's a
start? Let's go there,
that's a
Tanya.
no. That's a tough one. It's hard for me. It really
Okay.
is. It's
Why?
hard. It's like you know that that's the right thing to do and be grateful for things, which is like if that person has wronged you or is there something going on that you just don't agree with, but should be grateful for the little things like, having a job, and you just be like, and sometimes it gets so difficult to be grateful that you have it because a lot of people don't. A lot of people don't have them. And it's like, but then you have to sit back and say, you know what? You should be grateful. You really should. And thankful that you're able to get up and go. Because some people are not even able to go to work and they want to, but they can't. So I've had to reflect back on that, just thinking about different situations with different people and just, okay, yeah, okay. May not be what I want, but I got it. I got something, you know? So yeah, I have to remind myself often that you need to be more grateful for what you have because a lot of people don't have it. They just don't. So yeah, I have to remind myself a lot.
Okay.
Okay, for me, and so yeah, when you talk about, and what they say, you praise God or you give thanks, even through your adversities,
Hmm.
Yeah.
or we want to be taken out of the adversities. Lord, deliver me, rescue me. But sometimes some difficulties, are meant to be endured, and
Yep.
sometimes and not to be so spiritual. But God wants to see how we respond, and do we
Absolutely.
lean on Him? So we talked about my year was just completely turned upside down. Um, I had intended to work, for at least another 8 years in my career, my beautiful federal career. And so, yeah, in an instant, I had to make a decision. And I was angry. I was angry at, the reasons why. you know, everything that went along with that.
Do you want to share? Because we've never spoken on that. You've not said. We've just said. So let's talk about it a little bit because, and it just go how far you want to go. But I say this because, um, the shutdowns and stuff like that is
Mhm.
impacting people.
Long.
Yes. And
Right.
so,
Right.
yes. And so,
Yes.
in different ways. So,
Mhm.
and just everything that's going on now, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? And this
Mhm.
is so, if you don't mind, just a little bit, tell them
Yeah.
why and what
And
happened.
you know, and I braced myself, you know, because of course, being a federal employee, you know, you when there's an election year, you know, a lot of things can change with your current
Right.
work situation.
Mhm.
Each administration, you know, your
Mm-hmm.
focus are these three pillars, and this is what we're going to work on for the next 4 years. And so, in an instant, you know, based on somebody's being elected into um, or elected as the president could change the whole trajectory of your agency's mission. And so
Mm.
I was kind of had hope on one end, but you know had to quickly embrace you know a different outcome. Even so, because again, having 33 years of a federal career, I've gone through a lot of presidential administrations. And usually, even though that president comes in with their agenda, there's not a whole lot of transition to this magnitude, what has taken
Right.
place in 2025. And so I just was preparing myself, okay, I can pivot. You know, that means doing, you know, more with less and those kind of things, but never. And I promise you, it was not on my what they call bingo card for 2025 was to leave my
Mm-hmm.
position or retire. Um,
Right.
you know, we went through that whole gamut of Doge and how Doge was allowed to come in and make some very striking changes to the way federal government
Yeah.
exists. People began to lose their jobs. I mean, you know, it was panic. It was pandemonium because I mean, even down to the point where we didn't know each day we would be able to have access to our computers.
Right.
You know, it was just that threat. And oh, we, you know, just every day it was ever changing. Every day it was something new that we had to do, or we were in fear of losing our jobs. And I hate having to say fear, but that's really what it
What
was.
it
There was
was, right.
anxiety. It was difficult to focus. It was a lot of mixed messages. And so when the opportunity to what um, they called it the DOP. So it was like a constructive resignation. You could still get
Okay.
paid through the
Okay.
end of the fiscal year, but you would let. And I said that's unconstitutional. You know, you can't. How that's misuse of taxpayers' dollars.
Right.
How can you be employed and not do your job? You're going home to sit at home and still
And
get
get
paid.
paid.
That's a huge no-no. But it was allowed. And I remember the first wave. I was like, no, they're not making me leave my job. I got 33 years, this, that, another, and I got 8 more years of work, and I'm, you know, I was ready for whatever the transition was gonna be. As a couple more months went by and you know, more changes. And then it was like in one day, I went from, oh, yeah, I'll be here 8 more years. They're going to have to tell me to leave. I'm going to be here.
Right.
So, yeah, okay. Yeah, pack your stuff and be ready to go. You got this amount of time to make this decision. You know, it's either this or that. You're either going to resign or you're going to be riffed. And riff is reduction in force. So basically, it's a constructive termination. I'm like,
Wow.
And
That's
so
horrible.
that was very stressful.
That's horrible.
It
That
was
is
difficult.
horrible.
And
Hmm.
I began to question everything about my career and why is this happening to me, you know. And you know what? Here I am, uh April, May, June, July, August. 6 months later. And it how apropos that we're talking about gratitude because through that whole ordeal, through these last 6, 7 months, I've
Hmm.
still been blessed.
Right.
I've still been
Absolutely.
blessed. I've managed. to, deal with the change, the difference, my
Mhm.
new normal, as I've talked about
Right.
these
That's the
last
thing. Yep. Your new normal.
episodes, and transitioning into the new me and trying to embrace my retirement. Renee, I remember when we were talking, he was like, well, what does retirement look like? I was doom and gloom, but you was like, no, celebrate it. You
Mhm.
worked 33 years, and I
Yeah.
was still upset and mad.
Yeah.
And I was forced to retire through it all, and everything I believe happens for a reason.
It does.
Things are
It
still
does.
changing and transitioning. Just when I think I've cleared the way in terms of finally retiring, as of September 30th, the government shuts down.
Right.
I, along with probably 30, 40,000 other people, other federal workers,
Who took the
that, who took the DRP, our retirement date was October 1st. Well, the government shut down October 1st. So that
Mhm.
means everything stopped. All our processes stopped. That meant my retirement package, my pension package was caught up.
Yeah. It was held up.
It was
Right.
caught up. I had received my last pay. You
Mm.
know, thank goodness I had savings. There's a rule of thumb. You need to have 3 months of your bills and mortgage and car note and all that. You need to have that. Okay, I'm good. But we keep watching the clock on this
Mm.
shutdown. 30
Mm.
days is turning into 60 days fast.
Right.
And meanwhile, back at the ranch, there's nothing happening with my
yeah.
retirement package
It's just
because
sitting
I'm
there.
depending on that,
Mm-hmm.
you know, to start flowing in. All the while, still at this point, also I've learned, yeah, I'm going to get back in the workforce
Okay.
again. Upset, looking at everything that's negative. But hindsight is 2020. And when I had an opportunity to kind of sit back, when we talked about this, the subject of this episode, I do have a lot to be thankful for, because
Absolutely.
a lot of people that go through similar things don't have resources.
Don't.
They don't, they aren't prepared. You know,
Mm-hmm.
um, so no matter, I'm still kept. I'm
Yeah.
still here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still
Absolutely.
able, and so yeah, my year didn't turn out like I thought it was gonna be,
But
by no
but
means.
it's good. But it's
But
good.
I'm still good because with the recent shutdown, and I don't know what's different about this one, because I think I've gone through about 3 or 4 government shutdowns during my career. But this one was different. This one was very different because there were
Yeah.
things being done that normally didn't happen. People being fired during a shutdown layoff,
All right.
which is unheard of, unconstitutional, but that it happened. The fact that these public programs that a lot of people depend on were halted,
Right.
and people looking at not being able to sustain themselves and to be able to do something simple, which is eat or
Right.
feed
Eat.
their families,
Yeah.
Right.
pay their mortgages,
Yeah.
Right.
because things stop.
Yeah.
There's no, and I tell you my experience, both lengthy shutdowns were as a result of the Trump administration. And I can say that because it's factual. But the other ones, as soon as they shut down or couldn't come to an agreement, it was only maybe a day.
Yeah.
Right.
I
Right.
remember us shutting, we went through, there's a whole process that you have to go through when we shut down. We went through our process, reported to work that morning, and by that evening, we were back
You
at
see
work
home.
for
Oh,
the
okay.
next day.
Okay. Okay.
I think the longest it might have been outside of the the 32 days, and this now 50 something day, 3 days, 3 or 4 days, and they were able to come to some kind of agreement. But this was different. And the fact that this government shutdown was widespread. So, government employees,
Right.
now you're talking about people are realizing the impact of what the federal government does. So
Yeah.
Right.
travel, being able to move about,
Right. Mm-hmm.
go to and fro,
Right.
was compromised.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People being able to eat,
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Have programs that they've depended on was affected.
Yep.
Right.
Not being able to pay your bills, but the beauty of it all, and I sometimes I say, it's got to be a reason to everything.
It is.
The what moved me most is they're still good people. They're still in this climate. We see so much negative, but they're still good people
Mm-hmm.
because communities came together.
Absolutely.
I don't think, although it was threatened, and people were
Mm.
looking at, oh, I don't have money on my,
Mm-hmm.
SNAP
Mm-hmm.
card, or, what am I going to do? People still came together.
Yep.
Yeah.
I
Showed up.
participated in a community engagement event where we fed. It was over 2,000 families that were in need, and that
Jesus.
made me feel good. And again,
Thank
it
you.
made me have gratitude
Yep.
and thankful for what I do have. Because yeah, we were
Yes.
all affected in some
Mm-hmm.
shape, form, or fashion, but I still have.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Some of these people pulling up, getting these boxes don't have anything, especially elderly people. They
Right.
Yes.
get so
Right.
little of the
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
benefit. And
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
so, yeah, I heard this lady was saying she used her money to buy cheese and crackers. That's all she had. That's all I think she got $20 or
Mm-hmm.
something like that. That's her monthly benefit, an elderly who is unable to work and on disability. And
Mm-hmm.
because the government is shut down, some of her benefits were affected. So she said she went to the store to buy cheese and crackers, and I'm listening to that
To
going, wow,
survive on. To
to
survive
survive
on.
on.
Yeah.
There was a man, and I don't want to belabor the point. There was a man, um, he has two sons. This was, up, I don't know, was it Philadelphia? I can't remember. Um, he went to Sam's, purchased a lot of non-perishable items, and created a pantry in the front of his house. So
Yeah.
Wow.
he purchased these plastic bins,
Okay.
and he put sustainable foods in the bins and just kind of put it out in the neighborhood, because it wasn't just people on social programs. It was the average person that worked a
Right.
job
Yeah.
that was
Right. Right.
Yeah.
facing
Right.
food
Yeah.
insecurity. He just put it out there and allowed his neighbors, just let them know, you know, hey, there's food here. If you need it,
Mhm.
come get it.
Yeah. Come get it.
No
Mm-hmm.
questions asked. And so he woke up the next morning to go and check to see if anybody had gotten any food. And in fact, they did. But in two envelopes, and he showed them, two different people, anonymous. Somebody, I know that was like $1,000. Somebody just put $100 bills in an envelope, for him to continue to replenish his
Yes. Thank
pantry.
you. Listen.
You understand what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
there's good,
Yep.
and
Absolutely.
I'm grateful
Yep.
for the good in people,
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
because it did
Yeah.
churches,
Mm-hmm.
other
Mm-hmm.
organizations
I
kind of
mean,
stepped
every
up.
church you pass by says something, that, and the date changes every Saturday. Or, and listen, not to cut you off, it's
Mhm.
gratitude is not about ignoring the struggle. It's about finding peace. Because,
Enduring.
let me say this: my job lost me 2 years ago,
Mm.
so I haven't worked in 2 years, and I've been okay. You understand? And so, what I found in these 2 years is the sense of gratitude, because it makes you appreciate. And I know that um, God does want to see how you
Mhm.
handle. Because again, it's easy to be good when you got it,
Mm-hmm.
but stay good when you don't. Because I've never, in my whole 54 years of living, because this ain't the only thing I've been through. You understand?
Mhm.
But I've never been in a situation that I wasn't safely seen through. And
Mhm.
so that's why I'm here to say this today. So for me, gratitude is um, knowing that the things that have happened in these 2 years are orchestrated. So, had I
Mhm.
had a job, even if I had been there for years, or if it was a new job, some of the things that I went through this year, what required me in person, or not to, would have could have jeopardized that, especially in the climate where it's tight anyway. So yeah, whatever job you got, Tanya, whatever you're doing, just be grateful, because I've interviewed in these 2 years. I'm a great employee. I know that. You understand? But you going in trying to sell yourself to some strangers. You understand what I'm saying? Who you want to take your word for it. And they asking you stuff like, tell me about a time when you had, listen, at 50-ish, I ain't harboring on no bad customer service experience. I damn sure ain't thinking about that to 10, 15 years ago, because I give stellar customer service. I don't have more bad customer service experiences as the customer than me as the provider of said service. You understand what I'm
Right.
saying? And so when I learned a long time ago, when you walk outside of the uh, job, all that stay there.
Mm-hmm.
And when I come
Yeah.
home, that ain't in there. And when I leave home, if something going on in there, that stayed out. It
You
don't go
got to
into the
know.
job. So yeah, so don't know if, again, I'll go back to what I've been saying. You don't know what a person is going through, because interviews have come, because I know I'm qualified. But you up against, you don't know how many other people for the
Right.
same job.
In the
And
That
same
one
then
job.
similar situations.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna
yes.
tell you now, I fortunate. I you know I you know, and I did. I love my good government job. I was able to
Mm-hmm.
advance and fulfill, my career aspirations within the federal government. And it's different than the regular job market. So I
Mm-hmm.
was able to move up within, still going through interview processes, but my reputation preceded me. There were people who knew me. And so
Mm-hmm.
it was a little bit easier. So I
Yep.
will say, along with gratitude comes patience,
Mm-hmm.
because me finding myself in these new job search streets is different, because my competition is this,
Mm-hmm.
this generation, after us.
Yes, Lord.
And so, yeah, you have to be relevant.
You
I'm skilled.
do.
I know exactly what I do, but I have to realize that my super before I left uh, my agency, my supervisor was the same age, or around the same age as my son.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yep. Mm-hmm.
it's about maturity and all of that. So it worked well between us. But then I had
Mm-hmm.
another supervisor that was young, that presented challenges. And I had to say, look, okay, I can't put my mama hat on, because that's exactly where my mind goes.
Exactly.
Because I see all the youth, the immaturity, and all of that. And so I had to reflect on that and say, yeah, this is what
Mm-hmm.
I'm up against. And yeah, I'm applying to this job, but so are 3,623 more other people applying
Sure
for
are.
this job.
They
And
sure
so,
are.
yeah, I had to, during my job search, redo my resume, not once, twice, maybe three times,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm learning something at each turn,
Right.
at each
Yep.
interview process, because I haven't had to
Mm-hmm.
do it outside of I know my agency like the back of my hand.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
like you just said, you have to sell yourself to people who don't
You
even
do.
know you,
You sure
No.
do.
so you have
You
to
sure
really
do. You
shine.
sure do. Yep.
But
Yep.
even through
Mm-hmm.
that, learning patience,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and gratitude through this process. Because at first, again, I was seeing things differently, seeing things through a different lens, and I had to sit back and just be patient and say, through all of this transition, you've maintained who you are. You
Yep.
maintained relevance. You
Mm-hmm.
aren't any less, because my career was me.
Okay.
I knew the difference, not to allow my career to define me, but it was pretty much
Mm-hmm.
a big part of my
Yeah.
life. That's
Right.
30 years,
Mm-hmm.
over
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
half of my age. And so, yeah, pulling back from all of that, yeah, you do become introspective and reflective about
Yeah.
what
Yep.
you
Yeah.
deal with.
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm grateful. I'm grateful, because everybody's situation is not like that. People lose
No.
jobs, and it's a very thin line between you being a paycheck away from being on the street.
Yes. And people don't
Fortunately,
realize how true that is.
that's very
How
true. I'm
true.
fortunate enough to have planned and got resources, and know. But at the same time, I'm like, yeah, I got to prepare with this shutdown. Yeah, okay, now I know my retirement, my pension, and all of that is
Mm-hmm.
completely on hold. So, girl, what are you gonna do?
Yep.
What are you going to do? To fill in that gap if you
Have
get to
to.
that
Yeah,
point.
if it gets to that
And
point,
and
right.
through it all, still, peace be still. You know, focus.
Mm-hmm.
Focus
Yep.
on the prize. Focus on. Don't take your eyes off God.
Yep.
Yes.
You start looking at the
Please.
water.
Mm-hmm.
Nope.
Get balanced.
Whole
You
time.
you
Whole
gotta
time.
stay focused.
Whole time.
Be patient, and definitely, definitely be grateful for
Mm-hmm.
what you do have and what you don't have.
Yep.
So and then so you shift your mindset from I don't have enough to I have what I need right now. And again, I'll say this, because I don't want to get um too comfortable in lack. I
Mm,
just know that lack
mm,
does not define me. You understand what I'm
right,
saying? Like so,
right.
so I'm learning that value ain't in the wealth, it's in the well-being, it's who I am as a person. So let me give you an
Mhm.
example. It's about gratitude is about just finding joy in the small moments. So the other day I called you, Freedom, and I said, okay, this how the conversation started. Which one of your 75 social organizations are you working on something for right now? And you was like, blah, 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 blah. She was like, listen, the cat went up the hill, the dish ran away with the spoon. I got to purify myself in the waters of Lake Minnetonka. And then I got to
Mm-hmm.
go around here and see and ease on down the road. And she
Mm-hmm.
went on and on. She said, I done missed this and I supposed to
Yeah.
been there. And then
Yeah.
she was
Yeah.
like, I needed to say that. So thank
Yeah.
you for
Yeah.
asking that question.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, well, listen, I got
Mhm.
off the phone. We probably talked on past that, but in my mind, I was saying, see, it's that type of stuff. That's the gratitude. It's the showing up because I don't know what made me ask that question. Half of the time, I don't know what I'm gonna say. I know what I'm calling to tell her, but how I'm gonna start the conversation, who knows? You understand what I'm saying? I might say anything. So
That's
it's
true.
it's the it's the gratitude in knowing that somebody outside of those organizations, they appreciate you too, sees
Mm-hmm.
you, and I know you
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
always
right.
got something going on. So it's what those things sustain you, give you things a sense of community, so you keep going, and then you get to serve 2,000 families, and you standing there saying, but for God, it
Mm.
really could be me.
It could
You
be me.
understand? It
It
really
could
could
be
be
me.
me. And
Mm-hmm.
if
Absolutely.
you watching this and you one of the 2,000 families, or you somebody that need to pull up somewhere and get you what you need.
Right.
Because people showing up because they know. And like you said, Frida, it's important. Y'all can talk about the SNAP recipients or whatever you want to say. What about the people who got furloughed without pay? What about the
Right,
people
Right.
who do have a job that they couldn't go to because we were shut down?
right.
You understand what I'm
And
saying?
and
So they
bills continue. Life continues.
and can't
Children
even apply
continue.
for no SNAP or no unemployment because
Right.
shut
Right.
down.
Because you're
Mm-hmm.
So don't
employed.
Yeah.
start.
That's how it
Don't get into
goes.
no
Yeah.
yeah. You
Working
don't know. And
without
if
pay. I mean, you going to work with and not getting
how much you
paid.
essential, not essential enough for you to hit my account.
Right.
Oh, okay then.
Yeah.
So how I supposed to get there? And then what I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna eat? Because my cheese and crackers done ran out.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
Okay,
not as
so yeah,
easy for a federal employee
no,
to just go and get another job.
Oh, it's
It's a
not.
whole
Mm-mm. It's a
process
totally
to
different
that.
world. It's a
It's a
totally different world.
process to that. There's
Mm-hmm.
conflict of interest. You have to request permission
Mm-hmm.
to work
oh,
Yep.
outside of your federal job. You just
Right.
can't go, okay,
oh,
well, I'm gonna, drive Uber, or
Mm-mm.
I'm gonna go work at Sam's, or I'm gonna go work at wherever. No, there's a process for that.
That's right.
There's ethical requirements. And so with nobody being at
I didn't
work,
know that. I
yeah,
did not
you
know
just,
that.
'cause case in point, people were talking about this lady mentioned she was going through the airport, and she tried to hand one of the TSA workers, I think
A
she
tip.
said, I don't know, $100 or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
She said the young lady told her, "Ma'am, I can't take that."
You can't
She
take it.
said, "But
Nope.
y'all up here working, you're not getting much pay." She said, "But yeah, as a federal employee, I'm restricted from, taking. If
Yep.
you want to recognize us, there's a process for that. You can go to my
Mm-hmm.
supervisor, etc." And I was that's old hat for me again, because that's how I worked. yeah, we can't take gifts. You know, you
Right.
can't do certain things. And yeah, if I want to get a second job somewhere else, I would have had to go through a process and it had to be reviewed and approved. So, yes, these people are sitting at home, can't work their jobs that they're hired to do, and can't get a side job.
Mm.
Yep.
Yeah, so it and again, we've only had to worry about it, not past 2 or 3 days in the
Mm-hmm.
normal situation.
All
It's
right.
just that this administration, this Trump administration, 45 and 47, where it was extended to the point where, yeah, okay, now we're really having
It impact.
to.
Yes.
I remember with the first one, because what people don't know, after 30 days, federal employees can go and file for unemployment.
Oh, okay.
But that process takes so long. So by the time you get through
Mm-hmm.
there, you're
You be
usually
going
back
back to
at
work.
work,
Right.
but you have to wait the 30 days.
Now,
So,
would they be able to do that with with the government being shut down? Would they be able to do unemployment because that person is not working, correct?
right, that's what I was saying. So after 30
Oh.
days of if we're furloughed for 30 days,
Mm-hmm.
we can go and file unemployment on that 31st day.
But where do you go? Where do you go?
We go to
Because
the
it's
Department of your state's
Oh,
Department of
they the
Labor.
state.
oh,
They're
so
the
the state.
state.
Okay, so the
So
state
the,
is
Yeah.
still
your
working.
states
Okay.
handle
It's still
Okay.
unemployment.
government, but it's state.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
State.
Yeah, so
Okay.
it's state
Gotcha.
run, but it's federally funded, but it's state run.
Right. Right. Gotcha.
But we
Okay.
can't. We were, or I was, but they can go and file unemployment. But like
Mm-hmm.
I said, outside of these two
They never needed to
terms,
do that.
you we never got to that point. Never, I never had to worry about it. Never had to be questioned. Well, because I think even with this time they were threatened, not they weren't going to get paid. And I'm like, that's
Listen.
law. They passed a law. So yeah, you do. There's a whole act surrounding making sure, because they would have to vote. They would have to vote. Congress would have to vote for us to be paid the days that we didn't work, and they
Mm-hmm.
usually would. But
Mm-hmm.
again, these two administrations called it into question. Even when the law that guaranteed pay was passed in the first term of this president,
Listen.
he was defined his own law and was
Listen.
threatening not paying people what's due them.
Now
So
they say the difference in this. Most time we come to when they can't agree. But
Right.
it's not nah or I'm gonna outdo you. It's just both sides are really trying to work to find a solution. What they said, I heard a journalist say on CNN, I don't remember who it was. um I heard them say the difference with this person is he willing to shoot the hostage.
right,
So whereas everybody else is like, nah,
They
we gon'
negotiate.
let's
Yeah, we're gonna
no, he
negotiate.
like,
Yeah.
let him fall, let him
Yeah.
fall. He don't care. Like, they ain't gotta eat, and these his
right,
supporters now.
yeah. These
Because
are
so that,
exactly.
yeah,
Exactly.
And
and
Exactly.
again, we're not talking about just SNAP
Mm-mm.
recipients.
yeah,
We talking
it,
about
it, it,
people
it goes
in
further.
general.
And
Yes.
I know people have, they talk about hold the line, and I again heard someone else, this lady, she gave just a real good kind of view on, yeah, we there's a bigger purpose. Absolutely. We want to save healthcare. But,
Mm-hmm.
what does that look like to the person that's being made to go to work and not getting paid, or the person that
Ooh.
is furloughed not getting paid? And the
Mm-hmm.
decision to open the government and close the government. See, they're not thinking like that. It's like, do whatever it takes so that I could get paid what's due me. And she was right. She was like, yeah, everybody wants to be upset about the eight, that, leaned, on the side of the Republicans, but it's like, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't, because some
Right.
real, it wouldn't have mattered. They're promising to do one thing, which we don't think they're going to do, while you are trying to believe and think that you're saving it or forcing their hand. It was too many, and we were just kind of at a disadvantage. So somebody had to give some kind of way, because can you imagine going through this government shutdown through Thanksgiving and through the Christmas holidays, not just because of the holidays, but 2 and 3 months of
Yes. That's, yeah.
no SNAP benefits, people
Right.
not being paid, not able to work. the
and how
air,
long it takes to
the
recover from that.
travel, all of that.
Right.
It would
Right.
the effects would have kind of even be,
It trickles
would
down. It
become
does.
more.
Mm-hmm.
So somebody had to give, and I hate that we're even in that position. We're even in the position of having to make decisions on public service,
Right.
and
Hmm.
programs that are put in place to help those
From
who
the
don't
government, from the
have.
government, for the people,
So
by the people, from the government.
yeah, it was a
If you
double-edged
don't want to put,
sword.
if you don't want to put no pantry in front of your house, got it, good. But
Yeah.
this the people who get elected to make sure that we get these kind of things when we need them. So
And
listen,
the worst part were these same people that we are depending on. See, they didn't miss a check.
Right.
no, no,
They
no,
didn't
Right.
miss a
no,
check. They
no, no,
they
no,
Right.
continue to. I
no.
think the average pay for a congressperson is about 175K. They continue to get their pay.
I don't understand
While
that. I
the
don't. I
federal
don't.
workers,
Yeah.
you
I
know,
don't
the,
understand. I don't understand that at
and to
all.
no fault, it wasn't like the federal workers said, "Hey, I'm not coming to work." No, they were told,
Mm-hmm.
again, because these two bodies can't agree. There's no, you did. Everybody's pointing fingers. So yeah, again, through all of that,
Mm-hmm.
thankful that the
Mm-hmm.
government is open. I really don't know what the future of healthcare is going to be, but I guess it's like, you don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. People need to work. People need to be able to take care of their families, children,
Basic
elderly.
needs.
People need to eat. People.
Basic needs.
Excuse me.
We have to move forward. We were on on the brink of a crisis. You know, but like I said, the silver lining is the fact that there are people, good
Yes,
people. Feel I don't care. It's a lot of bad going on, but there's a lot of
lot of.
good. There's a lot of good. So through it all, still be thankful. I don't think not one person missed a meal, even with this last shutdown, just simply because people came together and made things happen for
Right.
those less
Yeah.
fortunate.
And
So,
so, which leads to the next point, putting people over things, like
mm,
appreciating the people. And
mhm,
listen,
mhm,
I promise you, I strive to be that guy, to put the food in the pantry, in the yard guy, like
mhm,
feed them. Because
mhm.
listen, even when you don't have a lot, you can still bless somebody. You understand what I'm saying? Because we don't know what his
Of
situation
course,
was, and the fact that other
right?
people can't. We not appreciating people enough. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
we don't appreciate people. It's all about. Let me tell you something. When it's all said and done, if I'm driving a Cadillac, if I'm living where I want to live, if I got the acreage and I got all the stuff on the acreage that I want on the acreage, and the house got everything I want, and my bank account overflows, and I ain't got nobody, then what is it all? What's it about? If I done sacrifice everybody just to have those things, or if I done got to the point where a Cadillac defined me, or some acreage defined me, knowing where I came from, and I don't mean because I ain't worked in 2 years. I mean, we came from middle class families, but we really saw our mamas working hard, or our families working hard to maintain the American dream, you know. And so people over things like how we gotten to the point where it's about belittling, or sitting somewhere letting the government be shut down because you feel like you got a point to prove, and then want to talk about the Democrats being weak, or the people who crossed over, when you some of the people that's on these same services that's
Mhm,
needed. And if you good, then back up and slide your card to the next person. So how
mhm,
do we get to where the community, like, where do we get to where I ain't gonna give you some sugar, a cup of sugar, because I'm scared your lemonade gonna taste better than mine, or I
mhm.
want to talk about you because I gave you a cup of sugar. We used to do for each other, and the next person never knew. So how do we start back being grateful for the people again who show up, the people who there, even when it ain't convenient? You know what I mean? Like,
And
what happened?
unfortunately, it has to be times like these that
Yeah,
you see that, you
yeah,
know.
Right.
And I don't know, that's just, I think that's just the state of the world. Everybody's
yeah,
in their own zone, worried about their own lane, and
yeah.
not necessarily man, each other.
Mm-hmm.
And it's this
It's
controversial, adversarial
yeah.
situation that wake us up and shake us out of our lanes and say, hey, your brother needs, your sister
Mm-hmm.
needs, these kids
Mm-hmm.
need,
Mm-hmm.
but it shouldn't be like that. I agree with you.
Right.
It's something that
It
should be
shouldn't.
constant. And not to take away, because, every weekend, there are churches and organizations given to people who don't,
Mm-hmm.
you know, but we
Yeah,
don't,
yeah.
it's not,
As upfront like it is
right,
right now. Yeah,
right,
yeah,
right, right,
yeah,
right.
yeah.
But
Um,
then it calls into question each of us. What do we do to pay it
Mm-hmm.
forward? What
That's
do
right.
we do? Because
how do you help?
I'm
Yeah,
sympathetic and empathetic to anyone who has less. I don't judge, because remember last week I said everybody has a story, so you can't judge. And so
you
you
don't
look at a
know.
situation and you go, what's really behind that, and how can I help?
Send
How
offer
how can I
prayers and
help?
what can I do? Yeah,
What can I
what
do?
can I do?
Even if it's just a word, it may not be,
Yeah,
food or money or what. It could be a word or time or an ear, which you gave me. You gave me an
yep,
ear
yep,
to get it all out, and then I was able to
yep,
process it and categorize it, prioritize it, and get it done. But
yep.
sometimes it's just a pause. It's a
Right.
pause.
It is. It is. And gratitude for the pauses because they need it. They
Mhm.
are needed. So the silence again, we were talking about silence when it came to the emptiness, but sometimes you just appreciate the silence because if you turn on the news, it's the back and forth. Somebody got shot at Greenbrier today, earlier today. I don't know so and this what we used to hang, growing up. Now I don't even want to ride by there. So it's gratitude in the small things, just when you get to take a breather. And I'm gonna say something. We are a midlife podcast, so we should have a different perspective when it comes to gratitude. But I want to say this to everybody, because we all have something in common. So to the young folk that's chasing your dream, keep chasing, but take the time to be grateful for every step
Right.
you take. Because you
Yeah.
be so busy looking to get to level 10, you don't appreciate 1 through 9. And if you don't go through 1 through 9, 10 will never come. You understand? Or if you go from 1 to 10 because your daddy gave you $2 million when you graduated from high school, ding, 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 then you don't know the grit and the grind of the other levels. You understand? But what I'm saying is we all went through a pandemic. And so our world, the world, not just America, not just Georgia, the world shut
Yeah.
down. And I'm telling you, I don't care what kind of vision board you have. I don't care what kind of journaling you do. Nobody planned to be in a place where you had to put on a mask and gloves. They really didn't want you to go anywhere unless you was considered essential. If you went to the grocery store, you had to go in one way, come out another way. Couldn't be on the aisle and all of this. So all of that, you can't plan for all of that. And a lot of us are still. Some people never recovered from that. And then here we come with another round of 47 after him being 45. Here we come with another round of 47 and shenanigans talking about $2,000 tariff. Baby, send it to me if that's what you're going to do. But this,
It's
you
like
only
blood
putting it
money
out
to
there
me.
because it
I know,
is.
right?
It's like
It
blood money.
Because
is.
guess
It
what?
is.
Because you need to give us $2,000 because the tariff done took stuff up so damn high.
So expensive. Oh
It
my
ain't gonna. It's
goodness.
gonna spend like 200. So
Mhm.
where I'm going is you some stuff you can't plan for. So you grateful in the midst of. A lot of people learn. A lot of people took off in the pandemic with their because they couldn't go to work or jobs cut back or furloughed. The entrepreneurs. I'm just saying, just take the time to smell the flowers because when you get here, you'll realize you woke up on January 1st, 2025, and now today we talking about 7 weeks until
Yes.
January 1st, 2026. And
And I
in
don't know.
between that,
At 50-ish, time seems to go by so fast.
Sure does.
I don't
Sure
know. It
does.
used to be. I used to think, oh, good. When is it gonna be this? When it just it felt like November, December would
Nah,
took forever, you know.
I
now
know
But
now.
now
Mm-mm.
time
we
is
midway
fleeting.
through. We
Time is
midway
very
through.
fleeting. The day, like day to day, I
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
wake up and before I know it, it's noon. I mean, I'm an
it
early
is.
riser. I'm
Listen,
up at 6, but it's like in a blink of an eye, it's noon, and then five
listen.
o'clock, and then 8 o'clock, and that's like,
I'm
yeah,
sitting in
so
the chair like this, like, wait
yeah,
a minute, you can go
yeah.
on. You can go
So
on.
yeah,
Yeah.
time. You be grateful for time.
Be
You know,
grateful for
be
time.
grateful for
And
the
I'm telling
time.
you, you
Yeah.
have plenty of it. And if you don't, because I'm not God and I don't know, if you don't, then make the most and enjoy the time that you do have. All we have is today. You understand what I'm saying? Because tomorrow is not guaranteed to any of us. So
Which
make the
we
most of
know
it. We
that
know.
okay, bridge it with the losses that we've experienced.
Yes.
So again,
Yes.
that's another reason to be grateful
Yeah.
because we all know it could be us.
Listen,
And we've
gratitude
had
make you
close it close close that people, people,
close.
best friends pass
Yes.
away.
Yes.
So yeah, be
Yes.
grateful for the time. That time is very precious
Yes.
when you reach 50-ish, because yeah, yeah, man, the clock is ticking.
Yes. Um, and gratitude keep you grounded. When you grateful, it does make you, yeah. It does make you look around and say, yeah, I'm listen. Uh I tell you every day. Thank you. Well, not every day, but every time I talk to you, I turn a corner and be like, girl, I just got to tell you, thank you for a
Mhm.
blessing. You understand what I'm saying? Thank
Mhm.
you. And it's been a blessing on top of a blessing. So it's gratitude. And I be riding like it's a Cadillac. And listen, this is a true statement. This is a true statement. So I don't without giving too much information, um I've said in previous episodes that I have custody. I now have custody of my 2-year-old great nephew. And I didn't have a car. And so just had a lot of appointments. We've been through just doctor's appointments and just different stuff. Just a lot of either I'm on MARTA or somebody taking me. That mean I got to hear what they talking about. And this, so Frida had a situation where she had a car that she need. I don't want to say get rid of. Anyway, I was blessed to be
Just an
able
extra
to be,
vehicle.
yeah,
It was an extra vehicle.
yeah, just an extra vehicle. And she called me to say, "Hey, is this something?" Yeah, and it worked out, and it's sitting out there. And I promise you, right now, every day, um, when I'm riding in it, because it affords me an opportunity to go out and do like uh I don't I ain't gonna call out what I do, but I do one of
Right.
the delivery services. And it's really been lucrative. It's really helped me bring in income. Now, I've made more on my
Yeah.
job,
Yeah,
but it
yeah,
really
yeah.
didn't have anything. You
Mm-hmm.
understand what I'm saying? And it's making a whole difference in my household. And now when we have appointments, we leaving at 9 because we'll be there
Right.
by 10:15
Mm-hmm.
instead of having to tell
Call
you to come and
somebody.
then hope
All
you
this.
hope you get there on time because it ain't
Mm-hmm.
your appointment. And then
Mm-hmm.
I got to hear you talking about collard greens, and I don't want to talk about no collard greens. You know what I mean? Just drive me to the doctor's appointment or whatever. So just grateful for
Mm-hmm.
little things. You understand? And I promise you, y'all hear me talk about Cadillac is my dream car. So that's what when I'm riding, that's what it's always been my dream car. Because to me, uh, Cadillac growing up was like the epitome of class to me. I didn't see a lot of Mercedes Benzes and stuff like that. But if you pulled up in a hall, you understand what I'm saying? What they call it. Yeah, people thought you was somebody, even if you wasn't. You know what I mean? Even if you, yeah. So
Yeah.
Cadillac is, but I'm grateful for every little thing because it's a blessing. You understand? And I don't want to just put it on age, but I do prefer peace over perfection. And I do know that life does life, but God is still in
In
control. And
control.
so the way I was blessed with that at a time that I needed it. Just it was a critical time. Like a lot of stuff been going on. Y'all just don't know what just the three of us have experienced just in this year alone. So gratitude is I just thinking about doing this episode, I've been crying and just thinking about stuff and how you survive it, how you survive and it's okay. You understand? So I do want to tell you that. But I think that gratitude will ground you in its small habits. Like we talked about journaling and stuff like that the other day. Saying thank you, give people their flowers. You know what I mean? While they here, and sometimes it's just you good because asking that question might allow them to just and then it's
Vent.
okay. You all right. Yeah, you need it. You understand? It's okay. And so I would say find great gratitude in every little thing. Uh, I like the fall. A lot of people don't because the time change. I was born in fall, so I like to see the dead things fall away because that means new stuff gonna bloom. You understand? So stuff has to fall away. Friendships, BS. I'm just grateful to be living a drama free life. You understand? So to get up and walk through my house in this peace, to be able to call y'all or talk to y'all or podcast with y'all and vent and talk, let the people know it's happening everywhere. Because again, we ain't just talking about Snap, because I keep wanting to say that because that's what people want to focus on. These ain't the only people affected by what's going on right now.
And we all, no matter, we're
Yeah,
gonna be
and once
affected.
something get behind,
Takes
catching
a
it
minute.
up
Trickle,
Takes
is
a
it's a
is
minute.
is,
trickle
is a
down effect.
thing
Yep, it
too.
takes a minute. Yep, it
Domino effect.
does.
And it would have gotten worse had we
Yeah.
gone
Yes,
on
had we
further.
not,
So
yes,
Hmm.
yes,
it's almost like,
yes,
yeah,
yeah,
you jump out of the frying pan into the fire trying to keep something away, but
Right.
yeah,
there's suffering going on over here,
yeah, it
Hmm.
and
is.
I don't know what's going to happen with healthcare.
Yeah,
I don't know, because a lot of people are having to make major decisions on whether to
Right.
have it or not.
Right.
Um, but I think we were a bigger problem was you know on the horizon had we
yeah,
continued to go down the road,
yep,
of holding the line, towing, and
mm-hmm,
I understand what towing the line means, and yeah, so yeah, you don't give up a little
mm-hmm,
for the greater
mm-hmm,
good,
mm-hmm,
but there will be other opportunities to
mm-hmm,
rectify that,
yep,
other elections, other ways
Right.
that we can, pull together
mm-hmm,
and do things. Because we were about to hit a serious crisis, and things were going to just stop. Things were going
Ooh,
to come to a complete stop.
yeah,
So yeah, I mean, again, and through all of that,
yeah, yeah, and
as a country, as a community or communities, people banded together.
we
Right.
did and
And
still are, and
and
still
still
are,
are doing that,
yeah,
because
it
yes,
still
it's
are,
taken a while. And
yeah,
so
I just,
that is what reassures you. I never
yep,
forget, because I always used to, and I'm again, let me just say this little piece and get back on track. I remember there was an interview that President Obama did, and they were talking about all of the negative things, the death threats, the things that people were saying about him, his family, uh, first lady, and all of that. And he said, and I learned to look at things from his perspective. He said, I have to realize who put me in office.
Hmm.
mm-hmm,
There are good people.
Hmm.
There are good people in this world. Everybody's not racist. Everybody's not
Right.
against me.
Hmm.
right,
That small percentage of negative will never outweigh the majority of the good that's in.
Right.
mm-hmm,
Right.
He
mm-hmm,
said,
Right.
I have to focus on the fact that I'm, as a black man, and president of the United States. And we
Yeah.
all know the majority of the race is white people,
Hmm.
yeah,
you
Yeah.
know.
yeah,
So when we think about it, I had to come off that, because it used to bother me. It used to bother me, how disrespectful they were
Yeah.
to him in office, and
Right.
just all the things. And
yeah,
so the question to him was, how do you go day to day? knowing that people feel this way about you and people are saying these things about you. And of course, sticks and stones break my bones, but words won't
Yeah.
hurt. But
Yeah.
just as a perspective, like you're under attack,
Right.
he was like, yeah, I have to kind of look at it from a different perspective. And yeah, those all those noisemakers and haters, they're a small percentage. And
Ooh,
unfortunately, we get to what we see daily on the news is a small percentage.
that's true.
Right.
That's
It's a
true.
small percentage. It's more good than it is
Yeah.
bad. We just happen
Hmm.
to see it on the
Absolutely.
bad. That's
Absolutely.
what's making the news. That's what's, you know,
Yeah. That's what makes the
That's what makes
news.
the headline.
Yeah.
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 but
That's
it's
yeah.
it's more good. It's
Hmm.
more good.
I agree.
And again, like I say, even through social media, you see all the negative things, all these situations that happen, racist, this, that, and everything that's going on with ICE and all of that. But believe it or not, there's greater good than just what we're being shown,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what gives me hope, and that's what gives
Mm-hmm.
me
Hmm.
gratitude
Hmm.
Hmm.
to know that
Listen, I don't know what's going on with my camera because I'm not. If I do that, I don't know what's going on with my camera. So do y'all see me as black on the screen
so
too?
we see you, but it's frozen.
Yeah. You're frozen.
Oh, so it may be my Wi-Fi connection. Okay, I'm gonna keep going, but you can hear me just fine.
Yes, we
Hmm.
can.
Well, I'm gonna keep going. Okay, y'all. And so, because we are gonna close it out, but I do want to make sure that we take the time because we've been talking about gratitude, but we do want to talk about how to be grateful and honest at the same time. So
Right.
sometimes it is okay to say, uh, everything ain't good, but I'm still thankful. You understand what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Because I try not to speak anything that I don't want to actually see manifest in my life. So I try to be careful about using the words like struggle and stuff like that because that ain't what I want to show up. But sometimes it's okay to say, Tanya, um, I slap everybody in here, but I'm grateful to be able to come here every day. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm saying that these ain't Tanya word. I ain't speaking for Tanya. I said that, and I work for 50ish podcasts. You understand what I'm saying right now? And so that's who I work for. But you do get to say, let me say this, because I don't want it to go. But in this year alone, and I'll probably speak more on this as we recap at the end of the year. I've been through DNA uh, journey to find out who my biological father was. I had a family member come, caused $12,000 worth of damage to my home, um, not including the two cars that got damaged. I was going back and forth to court to get guardianship over my nephew. My daughter in college, you understand what I'm saying? Got things going on. I'm not working, some financially. She's been working 2, 3 jobs just to make sure she's good. That put me in a place because I feel like focus on some of the stuff around campus. You understand what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
Make sure
Right.
you at so and so meeting doing this and this and this. And she liked working, and I'm good with that. But so
Hmm.
it's been a lot. But I'm telling you, the damage that the family member caused blessed me to be able to do uh, the stuff in the court because it cost him more than I
Costs
thought it was
money.
going to cost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does.
And I was able to get the van from Frida and register it and get a tag and get it up and running so that it is helping me make income. And so it's okay to say it's rough. And the whole time all this was happening, I was saying outside of the DNA journey represented me stepping into a new place and releasing fear and just wanted to embrace. But all of the rest of the stuff, I felt like I shouldn't have to go through this. I shouldn't be fighting to get custody of a child that somebody asked me to get so they could get up on their feet and then turn around and call me broke and all kind of shit. Like, and I shit. When I'm taking care of him, you understand?
Hmm.
And so, just a lot of stuff I didn't feel like it was fair, but I do know that, and I sometimes this sound cliche that God give His strongest battles to the worst battles to His strongest soldiers. And if I had to go through all of this to launch this podcast to be able to tell people that you can be all right, it is okay. And when people do you wrong, I don't wish nothing bad on my family member. I just don't fool with them. You understand what I'm saying? And what I know about what they currently have going on, I'm still in a better place than they are. And that ain't no me thinking I'm better than is you didn't hurt me. But I work hard for all this stuff over here. So if I got a 12-inch TV, if I got a 200-inch TV, it's mine. You understand what I'm saying? Everything I bought it.
Right,
I
right.
swiped my card for it. You
Mm-hmm.
understand what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
so it's okay to be grateful and then acknowledge that some stuff doesn't happen. You understand? And so for for Tanya, because what was this part was about it really it was all of us grieving, caregiving, navigating transitions. That's what all of us doing, because I now have a toddler in my custody. He too, you understand? Tanya, you lost your best friend. Frida, you are caregiving for your mom while transitioning from a 33-year career
Career.
that
Right.
ended not because you said enough is enough, but what you gonna do? Because I remember you was on online saying, "No, no, I ain't gonna leave my good job. I've been
Mm-hmm.
here." And then, but then the struggle. So we do want to acknowledge. We don't want to try to paint no perfect picture. Again, it's not about it being perfect. It's about finding peace in it. And
Right.
friend, you have. I've seen you go from, because you were amped up when this first happened, Fred. You was amped up, and I was saying, somebody say, "Baby, I think I want a banana." Bananas. See, that's what they kept on the. We kept them in the refrigerator at work for people
Mm-hmm.
who needed potassium. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm grateful to
Mm-hmm.
see you digress a little bit, because it's not your fault. And all I can, I said it, but you had to. God ain't gonna put you here. You ain't go in playing off. You ain't go to work drunk. You ain't coming out like you did your job, and you did it good, because they don't keep you around for 33 years if you don't. Not in
Right.
the government. They put you on your plan and get you on up out of there. You know what I mean? Or you either improve. And so
Yeah.
I'm grateful. I'm grateful. I'm grateful. I'm grateful. To see and know that you've calmed down. You went off on, not on me, but the other day we were talking about that other young person. I was like, calm down, friend, calm down. So I'm grateful.
As you can
So
see, I get
y'all,
passionate. I get
yeah,
passionate
you
about
you
certain
get so you
things.
get so a little passionate when it comes down to yeah. So let's end it with you can pick one of these. You can do something for all three, or you can say it. You can either say, "Today I'm grateful for this year taught me that gratitude is," or "I hope everyone listening takes a moment to." So, who want to go first? Either today, or you can do all three. Today I'm grateful for this year taught me that gratitude is, or "I hope everyone listening takes a moment to."
I'll go first.
Okay.
Today, I'm grateful for being present, and that's present for myself, present for my family, present for my friends. And when I say that, I'm mentally sound, emotionally
Mm-hmm.
sound, being present, because that means I'm in a position to receive or give whatever it is that I need to receive or give.
Mm-hmm.
What was the second one?
Um, this year taught me that gratitude is.
This year taught me that gratitude should be at the forefront,
Mm.
because no matter what you go through, you should be thankful for the
Yes.
good, the bad, and the indifferent.
Yes.
And I hope that everyone listening to this podcast, just by our examples and us giving, our thoughts on it, I hope that you come away with a different understanding of what gratitude is, and
Mm-hmm.
exactly what and how it is. And like we said in the beginning, it's not something that you just celebrate when things are going good.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
You're grateful even through the bad times too,
Yes.
because there's always something to be thankful for.
Yep. Okay. Which one you want to do, Tanya? You want me to read them again?
Um, I think this. What? Okay, what was the first one? Because I remember seeing hearing that
Today
one.
I'm grateful for.
Today, I'm grateful for my health. Just being able to overcome some things that I've been personally going through. Not completely over it, but much better than where I was. And I'm
Mhm.
just grateful that I listened to my body
Mhm.
and knowing that something's not right and went ahead and checked on it. And just grateful that my friend is resting. I mean, I didn't realize how sick she was.
Mhm.
I miss her more than anything else in the world. But I just, I'm grateful for the time that we shared together and to just talk about it with my children. They were like, what? You know, and so I'm just grateful for that. And I'm just very, 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 very grateful for my health because I was like a little scared for a minute there. But yeah, I'm very extremely grateful for that and just showing um that you have to keep pushing no matter what. No matter you may not be on the job that you desire to be on, but be grateful that you have one. I keep saying that because I have to remind myself of that. I mean, because a lot of times you're making more money than you ever thought you could make, this, that, and third,
Mhm.
but you are miserable. And to be able to say, "Oh, I'm grateful for this job," I gotta scrape it up, scrape it up, scrape it up to get by, but I'm doing it, so I'm
Mhm.
good.
Mhm.
And I'm very grateful that I got my baby boy in school and he is doing it. He's thriving. He really is. And so, yeah, so I'm just grateful.
Okay. So today I'm grateful for my resilience. I'm grateful for just s- talking it back and again preparing for this episode and just being a survivor, not giving up and just knowing that um all things work together. Keep going, keep evolving, make sure that this year showed me I don't give myself enough credit. And because I don't want to I don't want to use the word cocky because I think people should be allowed to pop their shit. So just grateful for my resilience and I came out victorious in all the stuff that I felt like was wearing me or tearing me down. And so do want to say that this year taught me that gratitude is peace and that is necessary. And so again, it centered me. It made me look around and appreciate what I have. And it because I did that, it has called or pulled all type of good things to me. You know what I mean? And so um just knowing that gratitude is what brought it all for me. Just taking the time, just taking the time to silence the haters, silence out the noise. I shouldn't say the haters, the noise, and remembering what was important, what was important. And so, um, what I would like for everyone listening to take a moment to do is self reflect. Um, and without beating yourself up, um, acknowledge your flaws, embrace them, look at your game plan, revamp it if you need to, and just know again you're not alone. Whatever age group you are listening to this, it's okay. And if it's rough right now, if it's not ideal, trouble don't last always, and
Not
that's the truth.
always.
And
It
so
don't.
brighter days will come. They have to, and you
Right.
have to believe that. And I know that one of the things I didn't say when I was calling stuff out from this year is a whole podcast has been launched. And if any of the people that really know me could see this episode in just this little 2 minute spot right here, it's been a long time coming. So again, to get on here and record and I'm setting schedules for my admins, responding to stuff. We have great things happening. I won't speak too soon because yeah, you some stuff you just hold in, but great things happening. So to actually be recording this to prepare to be published on the 50ish web, not website, the social sites and all of that. And again, everything else is forthcoming. So if anything, I would just say believe in you and appreciate every single thing that happens, whether you think it's good, bad, or indifferent, because it's either making you or it's gonna show you what you won't take. You understand what I'm saying? And so it's all relative to what we got going on. So we want to thank you all um, for rocking with us. Like, subscribe, comment, leave us a comment
Mhm.
under
Yeah.
and let us know, what's gratitude to you. What are you grateful for?
Right.
And then we'll come back at the end of the year. Maybe we can, highlight or spotlight some of those. But comment, what is gratitude to you? What did you get from this, or what have you learned this year when it
Right.
comes to gratitude? And so thank
Right.
you all. Like, subscribe, share 50ish the 50ish podcast on all social media platforms, and 50ish podcast on Spotify and YouTube. We're everywhere you get your. So if you're an audio person, we're on Apple. I need to send y'all that. Y'all need to go to Apple and search
Mhm.
and see that we really got podcasts out there on Apple.
Mhm.
And yeah,
Absolutely.
we're big timers. They don't even know that we big timers, y'all. So um grateful for you
Mhm.
all. Grateful for y'all. Don't want to say riding with my vision, but I do appreciate y'all letting me lead in this, because y'all know this my baby. So I don't want to feel like
Mhm.
it's whatever, but thank y'all for riding with me and giving
Mhm.
me your comments and showing up. You understand? Showing up. And so whatever, hope I can support y'all in whatever endeavors we gonna do. So Tanya, want to see you walk down the runway. And I'm gonna be, well, you can't see me because I'm frozen, but doing that little finger thing, that we do, whatever that means. And so Frida, yeah, Frida, I'll be your campaign manager in the hood when you run for
Hey,
president. Put
Frida,
me
you
in the
know what
hood
I
where the
told
people
you I
at.
want you to do?
Yeah.
I'm all for you. I'm telling
Tanya,
you
ain't
now.
nobody, you'd run for that. Let her we need she need to go to Washington. She need to go to Washington.
It's
That's what she
steps.
need
It's
to
steps. That's all I'm
do.
saying. It's
So yeah.
steps.
Yeah. Thank y'all. Whatever you're grateful for, y'all, we are grateful for you all. So
Yes,
we'll
absolutely.
see you next time. Um, Same time, same station. All right. Let me end,
Bye.
y'all.